Stretched across the vast, shimmering expanse of the Atlantic Ocean lies a chain of islands so vibrant they appear as scattered jewels upon a canvas of impossible blue. This is the Bahamas. It is an archipelago comprising some 700 islands and over 2,000 cays, each a unique fragment of paradise. From the air, they form a breathtaking mosaic of green land, white sand, and every conceivable shade of turquoise. The water here is famously clear, so transparent that one can see the intricate patterns of the seabed from great heights. This clarity is not just a visual spectacle, it is the very essence of the Bahamian experience, inviting exploration and wonder. The name Bahamas is thought to derive from the Spanish phrase baja mar, meaning shallow sea. This name perfectly captures the character of the waters that surround these islands. For centuries, these shallow seas have been both a sanctuary and a challenge. They have nurtured an astonishing abundance of marine life within their coral gardens, while also testing the skills of sailors who navigate their intricate channels. The sun seems to shine with a particular intensity here, warming the sands and illuminating the underwater world. It is a place where the boundary between land and sea feels wonderfully blurred, creating a unique and captivating environment. To speak of the Bahamas is to speak of color. It is the brilliant white of the sand, sometimes blushing to a delicate pink on the shores of Eleuthera and Harbor Island. It is the deep, mysterious indigo of Dean's Blue Hole, one of the deepest underwater sinkholes on Earth. It is the emerald green of the lush, subtropical vegetation that covers the islands, hardy sea grape trees, dense forests of Bahamian pine. And of course, it is the kaleidoscope of colors found within the reefs. The vibrant purples of sea fans, the bright oranges of sponges, and the dazzling hues of countless reef fish darting through the coral. This natural splendor is more than just a beautiful backdrop. It is the foundation upon which life in the Bahamas is built. It has shaped the nation's history, its culture, and its economy. The sea provides sustenance, the climate invites visitors from around the world, and the land holds stories that stretch back for centuries. In this journey, we will explore this remarkable archipelago, from its geological origins and its earliest human inhabitants, to its modern-day identity as a vibrant, independent nation. We will delve into its famous coral reefs, uncover its rich history, and meet the people who call this extraordinary place home. The story of the Bahamas is not just one of sand and sea. It is a profound human story, woven over many centuries. Long before European ships first appeared on the horizon, these islands were home to the Lucayan Taino people. They were a peaceful society, skilled in farming, fishing, and navigating the archipelago in their magnificent dugout canoes. They lived in harmony with their environment, developing a rich culture that is still echoed in the names of places and in the archaeological artifacts that continue to be uncovered. Their world was forever changed in 1492 when Christopher Columbus made his first landfall in the Americas, an event that is widely believed to have occurred on a Bahamian island. This moment marked the beginning of a new and often tumultuous era for the islands. Following the arrival of Europeans, the Bahamas entered a long period of colonial history, eventually becoming a British crown colony in 1718. This chapter brought with it the construction of formidable forts, the rise of a plantation economy, and the establishment of Nassau as a bustling colonial capital. The islands also became a notorious haven for pirates, including the infamous Blackbeard, who used the labyrinthine waterways to their advantage. This history has left an indelible mark on the landscape, with colonial architecture and historic fortifications standing as silent witnesses to a complex past. The cultural identity of the modern Bahamas is a vibrant fusion of these historical influences. The traditions of West Africa, brought to the islands during the transatlantic slave trade, blended with British colonial customs and the lingering echoes of the Lucayan people. This rich cultural tapestry is most spectacularly expressed during Junkanoo, a magnificent national festival of music, dance, and art. On Boxing Day and New Year's Day, the streets of Nassau come alive with elaborate costumes, goatskin drums, and brass instruments, in a celebration of freedom and Bahamian identity that is utterly unique and exhilarating. In this exploration, we will trace this incredible journey through time. We will look at how the Bahamas navigated its path from a British colony to a fully independent nation within the Commonwealth in 1973. We will examine how its government and society function today, and how its people continue to shape their own destiny. Understanding this rich tapestry of history and culture is essential to appreciating the Bahamas not just as a tourist destination, but as a living, breathing nation with a powerful story to tell. It is a story of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring spirit of the Bahamian people. The Commonwealth of the Bahamas is a nation defined by its geography. It is not a single landmass, but a sprawling archipelago. It consists of around 700 islands, more than 2,000 cays, small, low-lying sandy islands, a great chain scattered across a vast area of the Atlantic Ocean. Geographically, it sits southeast of the Florida Peninsula, north of the island of Cuba. This strategic location shaped its history, its climate, and its modern identity. The islands themselves are not volcanic in origin, like some of their Caribbean neighbors. Instead, they are the emergent peaks of a vast underwater plateau. This plateau, known as the Bahama Banks, is made of limestone. The limestone is the accumulated remains of countless marine organisms compressed over millions of years. This geological foundation gives the islands their characteristically low and flat profile. The highest point in the country, Mount Alvernia on Cat Island, rises to only 63 meters, about 206 feet. This low elevation makes the islands particularly vulnerable to the forces of the ocean, from storm surges and the long-term threat of rising sea levels. Life here has always been lived in close proximity to the water, a relationship of both dependence and respect for its immense power. One of the most defining features of the Bahamas is the extraordinary color and clarity of its water. Sunlight penetrates easily through this shallow water, reflecting off the bright white calcium carbonate sand on the seabed. This interaction, sunlight, shallow water, a reflective bottom, creates the world-famous, vibrant turquoise hues. The clarity is legendary. In places like the Exuma Cays, visibility can reach 60 meters, nearly 200 feet. This transparency comes from the lack of rivers on the islands. Without rivers carrying sediment and silt into the sea, the water stays pure. That pristine water creates perfect conditions for marine life to flourish. Sunlight reaches corals. Sunlight reaches seagrass beds. The shallow banks end at steep drop-offs. The transition is dramatic. Light blue shallows give way to dark indigo abyss. This deep trench is called the tongue of the ocean, thousands of meters deep. That bathymetry, extensive shallows beside deep water, fuels rich biodiversity. Shallow specialists and deep ocean species live unusually close together. These seas have been both a blessing and a curse. For centuries they provided food, conch, lobster, a wide variety of fish. They are the playground for sailors, divers, fishermen, and the backbone of tourism. But the shallows are treacherous for navigation. Countless ships ran aground on hidden reefs and sandbars. A wrecking industry arose as Bahamians salvaged cargo from wrecks. The shallow seas are central to the Bahamian story, a source of beauty, life, and peril. The islands of the Bahamas are geological marvels, crafted by time and the ocean. They are composed almost entirely of limestone, a rock formed from the skeletal fragments of marine organisms. As ancient coral reefs died, their calcium carbonate skeletons accumulated on the seafloor. Other sea creatures contributed their skeletons too. Over vast stretches of geological time, these deposits were compacted and cemented together into a limestone platform. You can see the origin story everywhere, in fossilized coral in the rocks and the sand on the beaches made by bioerosion. The limestone is porous, full of holes and channels like a giant sponge. That porosity changes the island's hydrology. Rain doesn't form surface rivers or streams. It soaks into the rock, creating a freshwater lens that floats above denser salt water. The porosity also created spectacular features, underwater caves and blue holes. Bahamas beaches are famous for powdery softness and brilliant white color. The sand isn't quartz from mountains. It's biogenic sand, created by sea life. In places like Harbor Island and Eleuthera, the sand can be pink. That pink comes from crushed shells of a reddish-pink foraminifera living near reefs. The diverse mosaic of habitats in the Bahamas, shallow seas, deep oceans, sandy beaches, rocky interiors, supports a rich and varied assembly of wildlife. The marine life is, of course, the most famous. The clear waters are a sanctuary for a magnificent array of creatures. Several species of sea turtle nest on the protected beaches of the outer islands, including the green turtle, loggerhead turtle, and hawksbill turtle. The waters also host a healthy population of marine mammals. Pods of Atlantic spotted dolphins are a common and welcome sight. The deeper waters are home to larger species, including migrating whales. Bimini has become a world-renowned hotspot for shark research and tourism. The area is known for its populations of lemon sharks, Caribbean reef sharks, and the legendary great hammerhead. On land, the wildlife is more subtle, but no less fascinating. The Bahamas is home to only one native terrestrial mammal, the Bahamian hutia, a large rodent that survived on remote cays. The islands are a paradise for birds. The national bird, the Caribbean flamingo, is a spectacular sight. Inagua National Park hosts the largest breeding colony of these pink birds in the Western Hemisphere. The archipelago is also home to reptiles and amphibians, including curly-tailed lizards and the Bahamian rock iguana. Perhaps the most famous animal residents of the Exumas are the swimming pigs. These friendly pigs paddle out to greet visiting boats in the hope of a snack. The vegetation that covers the islands of the Bahamas is a testament to resilience. The thin, rocky soil and salt spray make growth difficult. Along the coast, plants tolerate the marine edge. Sea grape trees with round leathery leaves form wind and erosion barriers. Mangroves thrive in sheltered bays and tidal creeks. Mangrove prop roots shelter juvenile fish. Mangroves act as a nursery for the reef. On larger islands, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Andros, New Providence. Here, pine yards dominate. Flowering plants and fruit trees add cultural and economic value. Yellow elder, bright yellow trumpet flowers, the national flower. Bush medicine, traditional plant knowledge is central to heritage. Islanders use infusions and remedies from native flora. This green mantle is a source of shelter, a source of food, a source of medicine, a source of cultural identity. Long before the first European sails appeared on the horizon, the Bahamian archipelago was the cherished home of a gentle and resourceful people known as the Lucayan Taino. Arriving in waves of migration from Hispaniola and Cuba, they settled these low-lying islands, adapting their way of life to the unique environment. The Lucayans were skilled navigators, farmers, fishermen. The abundant conch was central to their culture. It provided food, it provided material for tools, for instruments, for ornaments, pottery fragments, tools, remains of settlements. Archaeology gives us glimpses into their world. This tranquil existence, nearly a millennium long, was to be shattered. The arrival of Europeans in 1492 began a swift, tragic end. Within decades, an estimated 40,000 people were gone. They fell to disease. Thousands were enslaved and shipped to Hispaniola, to Cuba. By the mid-1500s, the Bahamas were effectively depopulated. The islands fell silent, awaiting the next chapter born from this devastating loss. On the 12th of October, 1492, a momentous event occurred that would forever alter the course of world history. 3 Spanish ships, the Niña, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, under the command of the Genoese explorer Christopher Columbus, made landfall after a long and arduous voyage across the Atlantic. The island where he first set foot was called Guanahani by its Lucayan inhabitants. He renamed it San Salvador, or Holy Savior, in gratitude for his fleet's safe arrival. The exact location of this first landfall remains a topic of scholarly debate. San Salvador Island, Samana Cay, and other candidate islands. Columbus and his men were met by the curious and welcoming Lucayan people, whom Columbus mistakenly called Indians, believing he had reached the East Indies. He described them as gentle, handsome, and unarmed, noting the small gold ornaments they wore. This observation of gold, however meager, sealed their fate. The Spanish did not establish permanent settlements in the Bahamas, viewing the islands as having little strategic or economic value beyond one tragic resource: the people themselves. For more than a century after the demise of the Lucayans, the Bahamas remained largely abandoned by European powers. This very emptiness, however, would soon make the archipelago an attractive proposition for a new and very different kind of visitor, one who thrived in places beyond the reach of law and order. The age of exploration gave way to an age of piracy. After its brief, tragic encounter with the Spanish, the Bahamian archipelago lay largely neglected for over 100 years. This emptiness, combined with its strategic location and labyrinth of hidden cays and channels, made it the perfect sanctuary for those who wished to operate outside the law. By the mid-17th century, the islands had become a notorious haven for buccaneers, privateers, and pirates. These seamen preyed on the heavily laden Spanish treasure galleons sailing from the New World back to Spain. In 1648, the first formal attempt at a European settlement was made, not by pirates, but by a group of English Puritans from Bermuda. Led by William Sale, they called themselves the Eleutherian Adventurers, seeking religious freedom. They landed on the island they named Eleuthera, from the Greek word for freedom. The late 17th and early 18th centuries marked the golden age of piracy, and the Bahamas was its undisputed capital. The port of Nassau on New Providence Island became a lawless pirate republic. It was a chaotic, boisterous town where legendary figures like Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard, Calico Jack Rackham, Anne Bonny, and Mary Read, caroused and planned their raids. This era of anarchy could not last. In 1718, King George I appointed Woodes Rogers, a former privateer himself, as the first royal governor of the Bahamas. Rogers successfully restored order, established a civil government, and began the long process of transforming the Bahamas from a pirate den into a proper British colony. With the pirates expelled, the Bahamas settled into its new role as a British Crown colony. Life was a quiet, often difficult struggle for the small population of settlers who tried to make a living from fishing, small-scale farming, and wrecking. A transformative event was on the horizon: the American War of Independence. At the end of the war, Loyalists were forced to flee the newly formed United States. The British government offered them land elsewhere in the empire, and thousands relocated to the Bahamas between 1783 and 1785. They arrived with their families and with the enslaved African people who vastly outnumbered them. This influx more than doubled the population in just a few years. They established large cotton plantations on Long Island, Cat Island, and the Exumas. For a brief period, the cotton industry boomed and prosperity surged. But success was short-lived. The thin soil was exhausted and cotton crops were devastated by insect infestations. By the early 19th century, the plantation economy had collapsed. The most enduring legacy was demographic. The enslaved Africans became ancestors of most modern Bahamians. After the British abolished the slave trade in 1807 and slavery in 1834, the Bahamas became a haven for liberated Africans rescued by the Royal Navy. Those liberated Africans, together with formerly enslaved people, formed a new Afro-Bahamian society. Their struggle for freedom, their cultural resilience, and their traditions would come to define the very soul of the nation. The 19th and early 20th centuries were a period of slow development and economic challenge for the Bahamas. Political and economic power remained in the hands of a small white merchant elite based in Nassau, often called the Bay Street Boys. The winds of change began to stir in the mid-20th century. A new generation of educated and politically aware Afro-Bahamians began to challenge the status quo. The Burma Road Riots of 1942, a labor dispute over unequal wages for Bahamian and American workers at a U.S. airbase project, highlighted simmering racial tensions and economic disparities. In 1953, the Progressive Liberal Party, the PLP, was formed, led by figures like Lyndon Pindling. The PLP championed the cause of the black majority. The struggle culminated in the historic general election of January 10, 1967. The result sent shockwaves through the old establishment. the PLP was able to form a government, ushering in majority rule. With majority rule achieved, the final step was full sovereignty. The PLP government, under Prime Minister Lyndon Pindling, began negotiations with the United Kingdom for independence. On July 10, 1973, in a poignant ceremony, the British Union Jack was lowered for the last time, and the new flag of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, black, aquamarine, gold, was raised. The Bahamas became a free and sovereign nation within the Commonwealth, with Sir Lyndon Pindling as its first Prime Minister. This journey was a testament to the resilience and determination of the Bahamian people, The culture of the modern Bahamas is a rich and vibrant tapestry, woven from the diverse threads of its history. It is a powerful fusion of West African influences, British influences, and American influences. This blend is evident in the language, a delightful form of English infused with local idioms and a distinctive rhythm. It is present in the cuisine, which combines the bounty of the sea, conch, grouper, lobster, with staples like peas and rice and johnny cake. At the very heart of Bahamian cultural expression is a spectacular and explosive celebration known as Junkanoo. This is more than just a festival, it is a profound declaration of Bahamian identity, freedom, and creativity. Taking place in the early hours of Boxing Day, December 26th, and New Year's Day. Large organized groups spend months secretly creating elaborate, monumental costumes from cardboard, wire, and thousands of pieces of brightly colored crepe paper. The sound of Junkanoo is visceral and compelling. The dominant rhythm comes from goatskin drums, which are heated over fires to achieve the perfect tension and tone. Cowbells, whistles, trumpets, and trombones. Dancers in intricate costumes rush through the streets, their choreographed movements telling stories and expressing the raw energy of the festival. For Bahamians, Junkanoo is a connection to their ancestors, a celebration of their emancipation, and an exuberant display of national pride. Beyond the spectacle of Junkanoo, Bahamian culture thrives in many other forms. The tradition of bush medicine, the use of native plants for healing, is still practiced. The islands have produced a wealth of artistic talent, from the intuitive paintings of Amos Ferguson to the contemporary works of artists like John Cox and Kendall Hanna. Storytelling and folklore remain important, preserving the tales of Braba and Babuki for new generations. This living, breathing culture, so deeply rooted in history and place, is the true treasure of the Bahamas, a vibrant expression of the spirit of its people. The modern economy of the Bahamas rests firmly on two powerful pillars: tourism, international financial services. Together, these industries have transformed the archipelago from quiet, undeveloped islands into one of the Caribbean's most prosperous nations. Tourism is by far the dominant force, the primary engine of economic growth and employment. It accounts for over half of the country's GDP and provides jobs for more than two-thirds of the workforce. The financial services sector is the second pillar. It provides revenue and high-skilled employment. The Bahamas became an offshore financial center mid-20th century, attracting business with a tax-neutral platform and strict confidentiality laws. Services include private banking, wealth management, investment funds, and corporate registration. The sector employs fewer people than tourism, but contributes a significant share of GDP and adds economic diversification. It helped create a substantial middle class and funded modern infrastructure in Nassau and Freeport. These industries are deeply intertwined, but reliance on two sectors creates vulnerability to external shocks. Global economic downturns that cut tourist numbers and changes in international financial regulations. Other sectors remain important, especially in the Family Islands. Agriculture produces poultry, fruits, and vegetables. Commercial fishing, especially spiny lobster, conch, and grouper, provides local food and exports. The government is exploring diversification in maritime services, technology, and renewable energy to build a more resilient, sustainable future for the Bahamian people. For most visitors, the gateway to the Bahamas is the bustling capital city of Nassau, on the island of New Providence. This is the epicenter of Bahamian tourism, a vibrant fusion of history, culture, and modern resort life. The city's deepwater harbor is one of the busiest cruise ports in the world, welcoming a constant stream of massive ships. Downtown Nassau is a hive of activity. Explore historic colonial architecture, shop for luxury goods and local crafts at the famous straw market, Just across a short bridge from Nassau lies Paradise Island. Paradise Island, a master-planned tourist enclave dominated by the colossal Atlantis Resort. Atlantis is more than a hotel. It's a world-famous destination. It boasts a vast water park with thrilling slides and river rides, an extensive marine habitat with sharks, rays, and tropical fish. Beyond Atlantis, New Providence and Paradise Island offer many attractions. Cable Beach's long white sand stretch is lined with hotels and resorts for a more relaxed vibe. The culinary scene ranges from fine dining with celebrity chefs to rustic shacks serving authentic Bahamian dishes like cracked conch and grilled fish. Stretching south from New Providence is a breathtaking chain of 365 islands and cays known as the Exumas. This is the quintessential Bahamas of postcards and dreams. The Exumas are a yachter's paradise, a playground for those who seek to explore secluded coves, hidden anchorages, and untouched natural beauty. The Exuma Cays Land and Sea Park, established in 1959, was the first of its kind in the world. This protected area is a no-take zone. This long-standing conservation effort has resulted in an ecosystem of incredible richness and abundance. The fish populations are so prolific and tame that they will often swim right up to snorkelers and divers. While the natural beauty is the main draw, the Exumas are perhaps most famous for a quirky and unforgettable attraction: the swimming pigs of Big Major Cay. Visitors can swim with gentle nurse sharks at Compass Cay, explore Thunderball Grotto, an underwater cave system made famous by 2 James Bond films. Andros is the largest island in the Bahamian archipelago, yet it is also one of the most sparsely populated and least developed. Known locally as the Sleeping Giant, the island's greatest treasure lies just off its eastern shore, the Andros Barrier Reef. This is the 3rd largest barrier reef system on the planet and a diver's paradise. Andros is also world-renowned as the bone-fishing capital of the world. Anglers from across the globe come to Andros to test their skills against this gray ghost of the flats. The long, slender island of Eleuthera offers a journey back to a simpler, more tranquil Bahamas. This contrast is most dramatically seen at the Glass Window Bridge, a narrow point where the 2 bodies of water are separated by only a thin sliver of rock. Just off the northeastern coast of Eleuthera lies Harbor Island. The island is famous for its magnificent pink sand beach, Grand Bahama Island. Its modern history is defined by industry and large-scale development. Just 80 kilometers or 50 miles off the coast of Florida lie the islands of Bimini, a legendary destination for deep-sea fishing. Beyond fishing, Bimini is now famous as a premier destination for diving with sharks, particularly the great hammerhead sharks that congregate in its waters during the winter. And concluding our tour of the highlights of this diverse and beautiful archipelago, our journey through the Bahamas has revealed a nation of extraordinary contrasts and profound beauty. We began with an archipelago scattered like jewels across a shallow turquoise sea. New Providence, bustling, concentrated energy; Andros, sprawling, untamed wilderness. The physical landscape of the Bahamas is as diverse as it is breathtaking. We delved beneath the waves, exploring magnificent coral reefs, the 3rd largest barrier reef system on Earth. Vibrant, living cities of the sea. Natural splendor from the pink sands of Harbor Island to the swimming pigs of the Exumas has become the foundation of the Bahamian economy. We journeyed through time, tracing a human story of immense resilience. We acknowledged the tragic fate of the Lucayan Taino, whose world was erased by the arrival of Europeans. This complex history is not just a backdrop. It is the nation's soul, a story of overcoming adversity culminating in proud independence. That history birthed a vibrant, unique culture, most powerfully expressed in Junkanoo. More than a parade, the heartbeat of the Bahamian people, a testament to freedom, creativity, and enduring spirit. To truly appreciate the Bahamas is to understand its inherent fragility. The very ecosystems that create its breathtaking beauty are delicate and face unprecedented threats. The magnificent coral reefs are vulnerable to the warming of the seas and the acidification of the ocean. The low-lying nature of the islands makes the nation exceptionally susceptible to rising sea levels and to the increasing intensity of hurricanes, existential threats to its future. As visitors, we hold a shared responsibility to become stewards of their preservation. The choices we make can have a profound impact, for better or worse. It means choosing tour operators who respect wildlife, ensuring anchors are not dropped on fragile coral, and using reef-safe sunscreen. Our responsibility extends beyond the natural environment to local communities. Simple actions: dine at locally owned restaurants, buy authentic crafts from artisans. By traveling with awareness and respect, we help ensure this beauty and richness endure for future generations. The greatest souvenir is knowing we left the archipelago as pristine and vibrant as we found it. In the end, the story of the Bahamas is one of endurance. It is the endurance of the limestone islands themselves. It is the endurance of the coral reefs which, despite the threats they face, continue to build, continue to grow, and support an astonishing web of life. This natural resilience is mirrored in the spirit of the Bahamian people. Theirs is a story of enduring the profound trauma of enslavement and the long struggle for equality and self-determination. The Bahamas, therefore, is far more than a collection of beautiful islands. It is a living, breathing entity, a dynamic interplay of nature and humanity. It is a place of constant negotiation between preserving its priceless natural and cultural heritage and embracing the opportunities of the modern world. As we conclude our exploration, we are left with a final, enduring image, that of an archipelago that is both a sanctuary and a home. But above all, it is a home, cherished by a people whose identity is inextricably linked to these waters and this land. The Bahamas is a testament to the enduring power of beauty, resilience, and the unbreakable bond between a people and their place on this earth, a chain of jewels shining brightly in the vast Atlantic.